Have you ever been talking to a guy and felt this tiny, frustrating knot in your stomach? Because one day he's texting you all these amazing, engaging messages, and you think, okay, this is it. He's definitely into me. But then the next day, it's like he's a different person. Suddenly his replies are short, he's a little distant, and you're left staring at your phone wondering what on earth you did wrong. Or if you imagined the whole connection in the first place. If that feeling is way too familiar, I want you to know something right now. You are not imagining it. That confusion? It's not all in your head. In fact, that hot and cold behavior is often the biggest clue that he's already completely hooked. He's just trying way too hard to play it cool. Welcome back. In this video, we're cutting through the mixed signals and decoding the secret signs he's already obsessed with you, even while he's pretending not to be. And make sure you stick around until the end, because the number one sign on this list is something he has zero control over, and it's almost impossible to fake. Before we dive into these signs, I need to take a quick moment to talk about the word I'm using, obsessed. I know it's a strong word, and it's one that can sometimes carry a negative or even scary connotation. So I want to be crystal clear about what I mean, and just as importantly, what I don't mean when I use it here. When I say a guy is obsessed, I'm not talking about a dangerous, controlling, or unhealthy fixation. That kind of behavior is a major red flag, and it's not what we're looking for or celebrating today. What I'm really describing is that stage of captivated, all-consuming interest where you're constantly on his mind. It's that can't stop thinking about you feeling that happens in the early stages of a powerful attraction. He's intrigued, he's fascinated, and he's genuinely starting to see how special you are. It's about a depth of interest that he might be trying to hide because he doesn't want to seem too eager or scare you away. This is a crucial distinction because real, healthy connection should always feel exciting and uplifting, never frightening or overwhelming. The signs we're going to talk about are about spotting that genuine, positive attraction simmering beneath the surface. They're the little tells that reveal he's more invested than his cool guy act lets on. We're looking for the signs of a man who is sincerely interested in getting to know you, not someone who wants to possess or control you. So as we go through this list, please keep that in mind. This is about recognizing interest and potential. It's about understanding his behavior so you can feel more confident and less confused. If at any point someone's attention ever feels more like pressure, like a demand, or makes you feel unsafe in any way, that is not what we're talking about. That's not a sign of interest, it's a sign to step away. Your peace of mind and safety are always the most important things. Okay, with that important understanding in place, let's get into the signs. Sign number 7, the subtle mirror. Let's start with a sign that is so subtle, it's almost like a secret language of the body. Have you ever been on a date or even just a coffee chat, and you notice something a little bit synchronized? You might take a sip of your drink, and a moment later, he does the same. You lean forward to emphasize a point, and not long after, he's leaning in too. You might even notice him picking up on little phrases you use or the pace of your speech. This isn't him mocking you or even doing it on purpose. In fact, that's the most important part. It's almost always completely subconscious. This is called mirroring, and it's one of the most fundamental ways our bodies show that we're connected and engaged with someone. It's a primal, hardwired behavior that signals rapport and trust. When he mirrors you, his body is basically sending a silent message that says, I'm on your wavelength. I'm comfortable with you. I'm paying attention. A guy who is just politely interested might be engaged in the conversation, but he won't have this unconscious physical syncopation. The one who is already captivated, however, his body just can't help but reflect yours. It's a tiny, physical giveaway that he's feeling that connection and is drawn to you in a way that goes beyond just words. So next time you're with him, just take a quiet moment to notice. You might be surprised by the silent conversation your bodies are having. Sign number 6, the digital footprint. Now, let's talk about what happens when you're not together. This sign is all about his digital breadcrumbs. In a world where we all have our phones practically glued to our hands, How someone behaves in your digital space speaks volumes. Think about your own social media for a second. When you're genuinely interested in someone, what do? You might find yourself scrolling through their old photos, curious about their past. You might watch their Instagram stories the second they pop up because you're eager to see what they're up to. Pay close attention to his digital footprint. Does his name consistently appear at the top of your story views, sometimes within minutes of you posting? Has he ever randomly liked a photo of yours from months, or even years, ago? This isn't just a casual scroll, it's a deliberate act of curiosity. He's investing his time in learning about your world, your history, and your interests outside of the time you spend together. It's a way of staying connected to you during the in-between moments. And even if he's playing it cool in person by not bombarding you with texts, this digital activity is a huge clue that you're on his mind when he's alone with his phone. It's a quiet, consistent investment of attention that says he's thinking about you far more than he might ever say out loud. Sign number 5. The remember. Now, this next sign is one of the most telling, because it goes beyond simple attraction and speaks to a deeper level of care. Think about a conversation you had weeks ago. Maybe you briefly mentioned your favorite flower is a sunflower, or you casually talked about how you get anxious in huge crowds, or you told a quick, funny story about your first dog, Buster. It was just a tiny thread in a much larger conversation, a small detail you probably forgot you even shared. Then, weeks later, something happens. You're walking past a flower shop and he points out the sunflowers. Or when you're heading into a busy event, he quietly asks if you're okay and sticks a little closer. Or he sees a dog at the park and says, "Hey, isn't that a breed, just like Buster?" And it stops you in your tracks. Because he remembered. This is what I call the remember. When a man is truly captivated, he isn't just hearing you talk. He is actively listening and filing away the things that matter to you. It shows that your experiences, your preferences, and your feelings are leaving a mark on him. He values what you say, not just how you look. It's a quiet, powerful proof that he is genuinely interested in the person you are, down to the smallest detail. Sign number 4. The protector instinct. Let's shift to something more instinctual. This isn't about grand, dramatic gestures of protection. It's about those small, almost primal actions that reveal a deep-seated urge to ensure your well-being. Notice his positioning when you're in a group. Does he naturally gravitate towards you? If you're at a busy bar, does he subtly make sure you're not getting jostled or place himself between you and a chaotic crowd? It's not about being controlling. It's a nonverbal way of creating a bubble of safety around you. And perhaps one of the most classic signs, the "Did you get home safe?" text. It seems simple, right? But think about the motivation behind it. He's not just making polite conversation. His mind is on you after you've parted ways. He's thinking about your safety and your comfort, and he needs the reassurance that you're okay before he can truly relax. This protector instinct is a fundamental sign of a man who is invested. He cares about your physical and emotional comfort, and he feels a sense of responsibility towards it. It's his way of saying, "You matter to me," without ever having to say the words. Sign number 3. The jealousy glance. This next sign is a little trickier to spot because it's so quick, but it's incredibly revealing. We're talking about that split-second, unguarded reaction you see when your attention is directed elsewhere. Let's say you're at a party together and you're engaged in a lively, completely platonic conversation with a friend or a coworker. You're laughing, you're having a great time. Now, if you can, sneak a glance in his direction. For just a flash, you might see it. His smile might falter for a half-second. His eyes might narrow just a tiny bit as he watches the interaction. You might see him studying the person you're talking to with a more intense, assessing look than usual. And then, just as quickly as it appeared, it's gone. He composes himself, his neutral or pleasant expression returns, and it's like it never happened. That micro-expression is a tiny crack in his cool facade. It's a flicker of possessiveness or jealousy that he couldn't quite suppress. He's trying so hard to play it cool and give you space, but in that unguarded moment, you get a glimpse of his true feelings. He doesn't want to share your attention. He wants to be the one making you laugh. It's not about being unhealthy, it's a raw, human reaction that shows he's already emotionally invested and sees you as his person. Sign number 2. He finds excuses to connect. Let's talk about the space between dates. This is where a lot of the guessing game happens, but it's also where you can find one of the clearest signs. A man who is politely interested might go radio silent until he's planning the next official outing. But a man who is truly captivated? He can't help but find little reasons to pop up in your world. It's not always a grand, formal invitation. More often, it's the small, low-pressure breadcrumbs he leaves for you. Think about your phone. Has he ever sent you a meme or a funny video with a note that just says, "This made me think of you"? Or maybe an article or a song linked to a hobby or interest you once mentioned in passing? These aren't random acts. Each one is a tiny, deliberate flag he's planting to say, "You are on my mind." That, "How was your day?" text in the middle of a Tuesday afternoon isn't just small talk. It's him creating a bridge between you when you're apart. He's crafting these small touch points because he's craving a connection, even a minor one. He wants to stay on your radar and keep himself on yours in a way that feels casual and unforced, because the thought of going days without any contact is just too long for him. And now we've arrived at the number 1 sign. The most powerful, undeniable, and almost impossible to fake signal that he is completely captivated by you. It has nothing to do with what he says or what he texts. It's all in how he looks at you. You know that feeling? You're in a room full of people, there's music playing, conversations are happening all around, but you suddenly get the sense that you're being watched. You look up and across the room, you lock eyes with him. And it's not a quick, friendly glance. It's a deep, lingering, intense gaze. It feels like in that moment, everything else just fades into a blur for him. He's not just looking in your direction, he is truly seeing you. Sometimes you'll catch him in this state, and he'll quickly look away, slightly embarrassed to have been discovered. But you saw it. That look, it's everything. The eyes can't lie in the way that words can. You can't fake that kind of focused fascination. When he looks at you like that, he's not just admiring you, he's trying to understand you. He's captivated by the mystery of you, intrigued by your thoughts, and completely drawn in by your presence. It's a silent conversation all its own, and it speaks louder than any compliment or grand gesture ever could. That intensity is the ultimate giveaway. It's the look of a man who isn't just interested, he's utterly obsessed. So, let's take a breath and put all of this together. We've talked about the subtle mirroring, the digital breadcrumbs, the way he remembers the tiny details you thought everyone forgot. We've seen the protector instinct, that flicker of jealousy, the little excuses he finds to reach out, and of course, that intense, captivating gaze that says more than words ever could. If you're recognizing several of these things, I want you to really let this sink in. Your intuition was right. All that time you spent wondering and overanalyzing, your gut was trying to tell you the truth. He is interested. He is captivated. The connection you felt was real. Now, with that knowledge, the power shifts. It's no longer about wondering how he feels. It's about what you choose to do with that information. And my best advice? The absolute best thing you can do right now is absolutely nothing. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but hear me out. Your job isn't to chase him or to try and make him admit his feelings. Your job is to simply continue being your fantastic, complete, and wonderful self. Don't change a thing. Let him be the one to break his own cool act. Let him be the one to step up and match the energy you've always brought. Your calm, confident energy is your greatest asset here. It's magnetic. It's what drew him in the first place. Because the ultimate goal of all this was never to learn how to make someone obsessed. The real goal, the most important one, is to finally see and recognize the incredible value you already hold. You are the prize. This isn't about winning his validation, it's about you realizing that you were always worthy of it. So move forward with that quiet confidence, knowing that you hold the key and the ball is very much in your court. Alright, I have to hear from you now. As you were listening, which one of these signs felt the most familiar? Was it the way he remembers everything? Or maybe that specific look you've caught him giving you? I am so curious. Please, take a second and just drop a comment down below telling me which sign you've spotted most recently. Let's get this conversation started and share our stories. I read so many of your comments and absolutely love them. If anything we talked about today clicked for you, or finally gave you that aha moment of clarity, it would mean the world to me if you'd hit that thumbs up button below. Liking the video is the simplest way to let me know this content helped you, and it truly supports the channel so we can keep making more of what you love. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and tap that little bell next to it. You won't want to miss what's coming next. We're going to be diving into something so good. We're talking all about the specific phrases and texts that can make you completely unforgettable to him, and how to craft a message that he'll be thinking about all day long. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Remember, trust your intuition, know your worth, and never settle for anything less than captivated. You've totally got this. I'll see you in the next one.